He's looking to put Orton down.
What was that? Wait, was that?
That looked low.
It did look a little low. Randy Orton looked like he went low. Punt! The punt! Cover by the Viper. Randy Orton has beaten Edge.
Hello everyone and welcome to our universe.
The CayVin Universe.
Oh yes, we are your host. I am Vinny.
And I'm Caylin.
We're going to go ahead and skip everything else for now because it's a
Yeah.
bonus episode. So
Yeah.
this is our third episode that we're releasing this week.
Yes.
So yeah, bonus ep. So yeah, we're just going to do a quick episode on WWE Backlash.
The review.
Yeah, the review of the pay-per-view we just watched. So, let's get right into it. Overall, Caylin, what's like the first thing that you think about? Like, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
It was pretty intense.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah, it was worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
It was a good watch, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't
Overall.
too bad.
Yeah.
Not at all. So let's jump right into it. So of course
Cool.
it started out. The actual Backlash pay-per-view started out with the women's tag match.
Yeah.
Kind of predictable. I mean,
Yeah,
as we'll go on, we'll notice. I think all my predictions, but one were correct. Technically, there were some that were kind of like, but we'll get into that. But the women's title match, I had that Bayley and Sasha were gonna win.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Yep.
Let's see. It was some good spots in the match. Some rehearsed spots. You can kind of tell.
You could, yeah.
But overall, I mean, it was an okay match. I mean, what are your thoughts on this match?
Just like how you said, predictable, definitely.
Yeah.
I just feel like since they just received those titles,
Yeah.
like why give them away so quick?
True.
Yeah,
True.
honestly.
The one that I was wrong about because I thought it was predictable was Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
Oh, yeah.
So first of all, when we were watching it, I pointed out and I told you I was like, oh yeah, Vince loves his real life issues, storylines. Them bringing Jeff Hardy's real life addiction issue into a storyline. So
yeah, kind of cringy.
But it was an okay match, but I don't know. I feel like something was wrong with Jeff Hardy during that match. I don't know, like either he was like really hurting or he was just being lazy or he was just really overselling, the fact that he was hurt supposed to be hurt during the match because that's a story they told, and he almost had to come back and then boom, Sheamus won. So I thought Jeff Hardy was going to win because I thought they wanted to push Jeff Hardy.
I know.
And it's like, if you're going to push him and give him like another title run or anything, it's like the time is now because you can tell it's like everything's catching up with him. It's just age.
Yeah.
He's been around, since I was a kid, and I'm 27, so he's his age is catching up with him. He never got injured throughout his career until recently. Started with his own personal like dirt bike injury, but then after that, it was just it's just a snowball effect that he just keeps getting injured. But that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that one coming. Side note, I just wrote down on my notes, I love Otis. Just because they had that little segment with Otis that he may cash in if Miz or Morrison won the title. But that was just, Otis is awesome. He's freaking hilarious. He's like if Chris Farley was a wrestler. That's basically Otis.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. So next we had the women's title match. Asuka versus Nia Jax. Now I'm going to be honest, I kind of didn't watch a lot of this match. You did.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I thought Nia Jax was going to hurt her.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like she's been doing, right?
Right, yeah, like you were concerned about her.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting finish. Or was it a double count out or Nia Jax got counted out? So I mean, it was it was an interesting finish because, like I told you, in the storyline perspective, that's a way to make Nia Jax lose without actually
making her
looking
look
bad.
bad.
Because she just got counted out. So
Yeah.
that storyline will probably continue, but we maybe run through these a little too fast.
I know, right?
I mean, what more can you say? I mean, it just that's how it goes. It was a very predictable it was a very predictable pay-per-view in a sense but like that's why I guess that's a good thing good thing for me, because the way WWE is set up, it's kind of is set up for the casual fan. Like WWE, it's there for the hardcore fan, but it's set up for the casual fan, because when you watch a pay-per-view, before the match they show the highlights of everything that's been going on, so you pretty much catch up with everything that's been going on weekly on the pay-per-view. So if you just want to know what like the main storyline is, or just the main thing that's going on, you can just watch the pay-per-views. If you're gonna really want to invest your time and be a hardcore fan, then you could watch the weekly shows. But honestly, I'm fine being a casual WWE fan. Up next, something that I did really like was the Universal title match. Braun Strowman versus The Miz and Morrison. Even if you listen back to yesterday's episode when we talked about this match, we were kind of like, we didn't talk about it much, and we were kind of like making fun of it, because it's like, what's going on? But like I said, once we were filming everything that was going on, and we saw the match and the music video, it started off entertaining with that hey music video. But the match was just, it was a really good, entertaining, fun match. I mean, it was awesome.
I agree. It had some humor in it.
I think those three just worked good together. So that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me see, what notes do I have on that? I did write down Braun is just a monster. That's what I wrote down. And then I like the way they ended it, where basically Morrison had it, and he was about to beat Braun, and then The Miz pulled him off, because The Miz wanted to be the one to pin Braun, but then The Miz immediately regretted doing that.
He looked at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was a good way to end it. So after that, we had the Raw Tag Team title match, which it technically didn't happen, but it did, because they were like fighting backstage, and it was like
so confusing at first.
It was, because it was one of those matches where they try to set it up like a movie or like a TV show scene, and it was really wacky at first. You can tell it was just something to be funny, but I was so confused. But then I did like when they like kind of made it like an anime type of, like the way they were cutting in. They had the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits team up. And then the ending, when they basically all jump off that semi-truck into like a pit of just trash bags, and then, I mean, there was like a monster in there. It was like,
I don't know if it was like
a stuffed alligator.
Yeah. I was going to say an alligator monster type thing.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can move on from that now. I mean, it was fun, and it was entertaining, and it was weird. And it was weird. Yeah, like I said, wrestling is wrestling because it has something for everybody. It has every type of thing. So it had a place in the show. But all I'm going to say is that's why people make fun of wrestling. It's because things like that. But it's also in a way where if they maybe watched it with that open mind and they understood, they wouldn't probably, they would either like it or they just wouldn't care for it. But they wouldn't, like make fun of the fact, because you just have to understand it has a place for it. But sometimes it delivers and sometimes it doesn't. This time, I don't know, did it deliver to you?
I mean,
It was around this point that we found out that the actual U.S. title match was on the pre-show, because you had Apollo Crews versus Andrade. Apollo Crews won, retained the U.S. title, but I mean, what more can you say about that? It was on the pre-show for a reason. WWE
I know, that's what I was going to say.
It sucks. WWE has given none of these guys their credit. They're both outstanding athletes, and the title was just on the pre-show. We're still waiting for the redesign of the United States title, because that design of it is just so old and ugly at this point. I mean, it was a good looking belt at one point, but it's aged. So we're just waiting for WWE to take the United States title seriously. So until then, we'll move on to the greatest wrestling match ever.
Wow.
You agree with that?
It was pretty good.
Talk about the longest wrestling match ever.
I think that's what they meant.
Yeah, their match at WrestleMania was definitely long, and this match was definitely long. But I think, off the top of your head, what do you think?
Off the top of my head, all of those, what do you call them?
False finishes.
False finishes.
Yes. So if you don't know, a false finish is basically well, it's the best way I describe it to you. It's like when you think it's over because it's like there's no way. Like either it was an extreme move that you don't think like. Basically, that sets up like, okay, that's it. That, like I've told you many times during the match, I was like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And then it tricks you into thinking it's over. And it's not. So it's a way of tricking the audience in the know and tricking the audience that's not so in the know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to an extent, that determines a great match. I mean, when people talk about, okay, so when you think about the greatest wrestling, or the greatest match ever, a lot of people say Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat in WrestleMania 3. And one of the reasons why people say that match is so great is because it had so many false finishes. So many times that match, you're like, that's it, it's over. And then, boom, they kick out.
Oh, my God.
Now, with false finishes, there's a way to do it where it can be great like that, but you just have to be careful because there's ways where, you know, I can think of like the Indies, for example. It's just false finish after false finish after false finish. So if you just do it in every match, it's not going to work out like that. You actually have to have a story with the false finish, and I think they really did that. So, it's just I wrote that down. Just so many false finishes.
Yeah.
It was a long match, but like I said, you can pretty much sum it up to the greatest wrestling match just because it had everything you could do in a regular singles wrestling match.
Yeah.
I mean, they threw each other on the ropes, off the top rope, to the outside, off the apron. I think there was a chair or step spot. I mean, they pretty much did everything you could do in a regular singles match. And, jeez. It was a pretty good match. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say the whole pay-per-view, it was kind of predictable, was kind of meh, but this match definitely delivered. This match made the pay-per-view. When you think of Backlash 2020, you're gonna think of this match. This match was just it was really good, and the ending, because I even said in my prediction, I said Edge is probably gonna win, but they could make Randy Orton win because basically Edge has won one now, and Randy Orton has won one now. So now they're probably gonna go to a third match, and they're probably gonna wait. They're probably gonna wait till they can have an audience for that third match, so that can be Edge's like real match back, and then he's gonna probably end up winning that one.
When do you think the audience will come back?
They say I don't know. They say within the next 2 months, so who knows?
Shit.
One thing I didn't care for the camera angles, like the ones where they had them like lock up.
Yeah.
And like in the very beginning, they had them like lock up, and like they showed the camera like under them. I don't know. I didn't like that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, speaking of the beginning, it started off like a very classic wrestling match, which was cool. Like it goes back to my point. They had everything. They started classic. Then there was blood. There was false finishes. There were submissions. They pretty much used everything they could use in a wrestling match to their advantage. Great match. I think honestly, there's not many wrestling matches that I will go back and watch again. But I think I may go back and watch it again. Yeah. Watch that one again. Just because. I
want to count how many false finishes
there
are.
We should.
I'm down.
Another mention of the pay-per-view was there was no Rollins and Aleister Black. I thought that they were going to fight, but I mean, hey, guess not. I don't know. Overall, what would you rate the pay-per-view 1 out of 5?
1 out of 5?
Yeah.
3.6.
3.6. Okay.
Yeah.
I was having issues with my mic. I felt like I couldn't hear myself right, and I just adjusted the mic at the end of this fucking podcast, and I feel like it's better now.
Really? It's okay. It's a bonus episode.
Yeah, right. Okay. It's a bonus ep. Now I know exactly. I had it too slanted. Yeah. Now I have it more upright.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Now you know.
But yeah.
What about you? 1 to 5?
A 3.
Just a flat 3?
A flat 3.3. 3.3. I give it a 3.3.
That no longer makes it flat.
The pay-per-view's a 3. Okay, the pay-per-view's a 2. Pay-per-view whole was a 2. The championship match gives it another star. So not the championship. The Edge and Randy Orton give it a 3.
Okay.
And then all the false finishes gives it a 0.3.
Ah, okay. Thank you for breaking that down.
3.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything for you. All right, bonus episode. 16 minutes. We're already a minute past our scheduled time. But we're probably going to edit it out because I brain farted a lot during this. Yeah. We're doing this episode late at night, and it's after the Backlash pay-per-view, so we have to go get ready for what comes next tomorrow in our lives.
Work.
What great beyonds lie in our journey.
I guess we'll find out.
Yes, we will find out. All right, guys. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else for me?
Nope, I don't think so.
All right.
I think we're good.
All right, guys. Again, you can find us at the I say again, we skipped that introduction.
Oh yeah, we did. So for the first time this episode.
Yes, find us at the CayVin Universe on social media, YouTube, and at thecayvinuniverse.com, a website that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, and our email, don't forget, the CayVin Universe at gmail.com.
Oh yes. Yeah, and let us know too your thoughts on Backlash. If you like these wrestling episodes, if you don't like these wrestling episodes, just let us know. But all right, guys, peace and love, and you will hear from us soon.
Bye.
By the way, why did they add background crowd noise to the Randy Orton Edge match? It was so unnecessary. It was like they literally got the crowd from the 2K20 game and just put it after Randy won. It's freaking ridiculous.